Hello everyone, welcome back to our geometry lesson. Today we are going to continue our discussion about using trigonometry ratio to find the missing side. As I mentioned yesterday, today we are going to look at a little bit different example, and also we can use this chance to review the steps we mentioned before. So if you didn't look the video or you have hard time to understand those steps, today is another good chance for you to just review this process with me. So let's check the first example, very straightforward. As you can see from this triangle here, this triangle we need to find the value of x and to the nearest tenth, and one of the angle is given, which is 50 degrees. So let's go over the steps we mentioned before. The very first thing, very important, please remember that you always need to label three sides whenever we work on the trigonometry ratio question. So let's check. As we mentioned, the 90-degree angle across at hypotenuse. This is the longest side. So, and it's always across from 90-degree angle, so it's very easy to see. And then the given angle is 50 degree here. So draw the arrow here. This is opposite angle. The rest part is adjacent. So once we have all three sides labeled, two questions will help us to set up equation. The very first one is which side are we looking for, which in this case is hypotenuse. And which side do we know the length of? And we know the opposite side is 9, so we know the opposite side. So if we pay attention here, we have O and H, which means only SO, which is sine, is working on the opposite and the hypotenuse. So that's why out of three ratios here, only sine, which in this case is sine, is going to be working. So now let's just quickly write down the ratio as we mentioned before. Again, SOH is a way to help you to remember the definition. Do not write down SOH 50, something like that. There's no such thing. Okay? So that's a common mistake you might see, but keep in mind. Sine, that's the name of the ratio, follow the angle, equals to the opposite over hypotenuse. In this case, it's 9 over x. So as you can see, some of you might notice that x is on the bottom. So what we can do, as we mentioned yesterday, whenever you solve this ratio, the best way is to use cross multiplication. I have fraction on one side, so I'm going to draw another one. So I'm going to over 1. Doesn't change the value on the left side, and in this case, I can use cross multiplication. So cross multiplication. So one side is x times sine 50. So always make sure the number or the variable is in front of this. 9 times 1, which is 9. So in order to solve x, we know that the sine 50, do not think about this as like a different thing. This is just a value. When we put in the calculator, you will find it. Times x. So solve for x, we just need to divide by sine 50. And we do the one thing on the left side, we do the same thing. You see, in this case, x is isolated. Now I just need to figure out what is 9 divided by sine 50. So in this case, mental math is not going to be helpful, so we are going to go for using calculator. As I mentioned yesterday, please make sure whenever you use online calculator, the default setting might choose radian, which is incorrect for our case. So please make sure you click degree. That means degree is chosen. And then let's go back to check. This is 9 divided by sine 50. So 9 divided by sine 50. Close parenthesis and then enter. So this is our answer, 11.748. You can see a long number here. And what we are going to do here is, as we can see, this one is to the nearest tenth. Nearest tenth is a number after the digit, is one digit after the decimal here. So since next number after 7 is 4, which is not going to be rounded up, so our answer is going to be 11.7. Let's write down. So this is going to be 11.7. And that's it. That's our answer. So please make sure always round it up your answer. Final thing I want to remind you, if you forget to do this, didn't choose degree, and then you type this as euro to find the answer. So as you can see, you will get a negative answer. And this case is actually a good reminder for you. Hey, I'm looking for the length of the side. How is that possible? I get a negative value. Then that's a reminder for you. Oh, I probably did something wrong around here. So please pay special attention on that. Now, let's, so again, I just want to remind you, degree is chosen. Okay, so the next example is actually real life situation here. We are going to work on this together, and it's going to be our last example. So this example says a carpenter leans an extension ladder against a house. So sometimes, when you read these words, please try to image them into the picture. So the ladder, this is going to be our ladder because it's a lean against the wall, against the house. So imagine this is a house. Reach the bottom of the window. So you can see this is the bottom of the window, 30 feet above the ground. So that's why from the bottom of window to the ground, which is 30, let's use different color. And then the ladder makes a 70 degree here. So that's the angle you can see. And the answer says to the nearest foot. Please pay attention. How do you going to round it up? Determine and state the length of the ladder. So this is the one we are going to look for. So I'm going to label X to remind myself. Show all your work and your calculations. So it seems, a lot of distracting information here, but it's actually straightforward. This is actually a right triangle we're looking for. And this side, same as the other, this is actually 30 we're looking for. We have, right? So let's label three sides as we mentioned, 90-degree angle across that. So if you think this is too much distraction to look, you can simply fit, oh, this is probably not a good idea to draw like this. So you can just simply draw another one without all the distraction here to help you to understand. So as we mentioned, 90 degree across is hypotenuse, and 70 degrees always given angle across given angle is opposite. The rest part is adjacent. That's label, we finished. And then the two questions we are asking is, we know the length of opposite. We need to find the hypotenuse, which is our variable located. So I know SOHCAHTOA only, again, so is working because that's one only working with opposite and hypotenuse. Go for to write down the equation. Sine 70 equals opposite over hypotenuse, which is this. Make sense? Now, as we always solve this kind of thing, cross multiplication by setting up the ratio. So it's going to be like this. I write down all steps, just want to make sure you totally understand everything. So I think it's also good practice for you to write down steps to make sure you are familiar with the process and truly understand this topic. 30 times 1 is 30. As we mentioned, since it times sine 70, so I'm going to divide by this to get rid of sine 70. And then cross out. So I'm going to type in the calculator. Very first, always make sure degree is chosen. 30 divided by sine is here, 70, and enter. Okay, so this is actually a slightly bigger than 30, it's 31.9. So if you go back here, let's go double check. To the nearest foot, that means you didn't see the word 10th, 100th, this kind of thing. So we're going to round it to the whole number. Whole number here is only 31, and the next digit is 9. That's totally going to round it up because it's greater than 5. So it's going to be 32. Okay, that's it. That's our final answer here. That's how do we use the ratio to find out the answer. The only difference, as you can see, compared to yesterday, is if we have the variable on the denominator, then there's one more thing we need to do. And again, very, very important, do not forget to make sure degree is chosen. Thank you so much for watching this video and study this another two example with me. I hope this video is helpful. See you soon, everyone. Take care.